Yo. Yo. What's up, guys? What's up, Tommy? What's up, guys? We are working on some mini gargants, Tommy. Welcome in. Just gonna refill my wet palette real quick. Yeah, we're doing some just some baby gargants, not some megas, just some babies. We're gonna try and finish this Age of Sigmar army out. This Sons of Bahamut proxy army. Hopefully tomorrow, maybe the next day, I'll do some basing as well. I'm gonna do some pretty cool basing. I'm gonna do like a forest for some of these guys, like this big guy. I'm gonna have him like crushing some forest trees and stuff. I think something cool like that, you know. Yeah. This is the Sons of Bahamut. So this is a proxy army. I've 3D printed all of this, but if you want to run this army, you can check out Resin Reborn. They can print you this off way cheaper than Warhammer. Like the Warhammer Sons of Bahamut models, 4 of the big guys, you only need 4 models for the whole army. But you're talking like $800, you know. But yeah, these are big, stompy, giant guys. Pretty excited to play them. They seem really fun. Yeah, pretty stoked. Should be fun. Thanks for the likes, dude. How's your day been? You looking to get into Age of Sigmar or 40K? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is actually my first Age of Sigmar army. I have like 5 or 6 Warhammer 40K armies. Played quite a bit of 40K actually. This is my first Age of Sigmar army. My friend was like, you gotta make an army to play. I'm like, alright. But yeah, I have a bunch of different ones. I have Death Guard, Tau, Astra Militarum, Grey Knights, Raven Guard, Leagues of Votan. I can't remember. I think there's one more. My favorite armies to play, though, are my Death Guard and my Grey Knights and my Astra Militarum. Those are my funnest. My most fun. And I think when I play them against, my opponent enjoys the game, too. Maybe not so much with Death Guard, but the other ones for sure. Nice, dude. Tyranids are dope. I like Tyranids because you can play them in so many different ways, you know. You do like all elites, you can do psychers, you can do horde, you can do big scary stompies. It's really cool about Tyranids. Very flexible. So the Death Guard recently, I don't know what they are right now, but for a good portion of 10th edition, they were really broken. So they were almost too strong. Their only downside is they're slow, right? They're slow, but they're kind of a slow, scary melee army. I would say they're more melee than ranged, but they do have a lot of like flamers. They're called like blight spewers and blight launchers and blight belchers and stuff like that. And they have some indirect fire tanks that are really fun to play too. But yeah, I really love my Death Guard. They're really fun to play. They're fun to play because you really are just inevitable. You just slowly advance towards your opponent, you know? And that's the fun of it. And their whole army rule is the closer people get to your stuff, the weaker they become because of the plagues. But yeah, I'm not really a comp player though, so I always kind of just I picked them because their models are sick. You know, their models are like some of the coolest in the line, in my opinion. But yeah, I love my Death Guard. Here's one of my. This is one of the Blight Spewer Plague Marines that I did. He's one of my favorites. High toughness, yep. Well, they have higher toughness, so their wounds are about the same. So like your Terminators are the same, but their toughness is a little bit higher, and with their plague that they do, when depending on what round it is, if the enemy team is closer to you, you actually reduce their toughness. So, but yeah, their toughness is a little bit higher. So it may not seem like they're super defensive, but you know, a normal Space Marine I think is like T5, or I think it's T5, but Death Guard is T6. So they're just a little bit tougher, you know. What's up, guys? What's up, Art? What's up, Che? What's up, Willie? Welcome in. Yeah? Yes, my dear? Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. One sec, I just gotta close my door. I appreciate that, though. Gene Stealers have always looked really cool. And the Venom Thropes, super cool models too. Oops. So the theme here is I'm kind of going for Frost Giants, specifically like the Game of Thrones Frost Giants. It's kind of the theme, but it's for my Sons of Bahamut army. But yeah. Gonna run them with King Broad, a Kragnos, that's like a half mammoth man. I can show you in just a moment. Let me finish this little bit of brush work. And I'll show you my Kragnos and my King Broad. So yeah, this is a whole proxy army because I don't have $800 for Gargants, you know. Some expensive boxes for one model, you know. It hurts inside. But yeah, so this is my King Broad here. So yeah, that's my King Broad. And then this is my Kragnos here. Oops. Sorry about that. A little Kragnos boy. He has like a mammoth body, which is pretty cool. I'm all about it. Oops. Calm it down. How do you do the light? It's awesome. Are you talking about my glow effects? Yeah. So most of my OSL, my like glow effects on like those runes, is done with oil paints, white oil paints, because they flow really nice into the cracks, and then I just use my airbrush with inks. What's up, random street guy? Thanks, man. Yeah, I spent some time, like this guy right there. I spent probably actual painting time, probably 7 or 8 hours. Oh, I need to message back my buddy. I've forgotten all day. Sorry guys, just 1 second. Okay, so yeah, but yeah, these are my little guys. So we're just doing the mini gargants right now. We're getting some paint, just some paint on them, trying to get all the colors blocked in, all the major color groups, and then we'll do an oil wash on a lot of this here. The oil wash will do most of the work, and then we just have to do some quick highlighting. And these guys shouldn't take too much time, hopefully, because my friend here has been begging me to hurry up and finish this army, and it's been about 2 months now. And I'm like, I'm trying, dude. You know, it takes time, especially with these like big models. I didn't realize how long it would take me to paint each one because there's just so much detail on them. And you know, if you're only gonna have four models in your army, I guess I'll have 6 total models, but when you have that low of a count, you may as well make each one of them as special as you can, you know. Tell him you pause the stream to respond to him. That's a good friend right there. Well, he's Resin Reborn. He's my homie, and so he's the one that has been hooking me up with a bunch of models lately, and so I meant to message him back. But yeah, if you want 3D models and you don't want to pay for a 3D printer, DM me. I can get you a hookup. Sick hookup. But yeah, he's a good dude. I was at work all day and I kept opening up the message, like wanting to reply, but then I'd get busy again at work. You know, it's one of those messages where you're like, it's in the back of your mind all day, and you're like, I really gotta really get to that, you know. But yeah, what are you guys working on? You guys just enjoying the stream, or are you guys hobbying yourselves? You guys got any cool projects you're working on right now? Oh, thank you for the likes. I appreciate that. Oh, thank you for the rose as well. I really appreciate that, dude. I'm sorry, I just noticed that. It's pretty righteous of you. Thank you, guys. Painting my Space Wolf Scout Kill Team. Nice, dude. I actually never played Kill Team. I kind of want to learn how to play it because I feel like my lady might be more interested in playing Kill Team than an actual, you know, Warhammer game. I'm making all of my Christmas gifts this year, so I'm hobbied out. Nice, dude. What are you making? If you don't mind me asking. Sounds really cool. But yeah, I do. By the way, I'm trying my best not to make a Space Wolves army. I already have too many armies that are unpainted, so I'm resisting the urge, but God, I love them. I love the look of them. I want to paint them like sweet Vikings, you know. I want to make them look like super grizzled, you know. Make them look like they've been through it. Make them look like berserker Vikings on mushrooms and stuff, you know. But yeah, tell me about those Christmas gifts, man. That's awesome. That's so thoughtful. I should really start looking into what I'm gonna get my lady. I think we're gonna do a snowboarding pass, a season pass, is what we're probably planning on doing. And by we, I mean me. She doesn't know yet, but I think I might set some money aside to make sure she can get that this year. It's important, you know. She's got to get outside during the winter times, or else she gets a little cabin fever, you know. I love Kill Team. Super nice to be able to get game in like 2 or 3 hours. This is my 9th Kill Team. Oh, that's sweet, dude. Diorama of the Corn Issues album, and then a bunch of bookmarks for the kiddos. That's rad, dude. That's awesome. That's really thoughtful. What's up, fat boy? I see you there. I see you there. What's happening, brother? How you been? Now that you got your Far Side all done, your Far Side Enclave, are you You do more crisis suits, or are you moving on to bigger and better things? Adding on to the army yet? Getting some riptides going, maybe? Maybe a storm surge? I loved painting my storm surge and my riptide. Those are my two favorite models I painted from the town line. They were really fun. Big giant guns. Oof. Yummy. Yum, 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 yum. Yeah, I want to look into getting Kill Team, you know? I just know that it's like more, I don't want to say a board game. It's not a board game, but it just seems more intimate, if that makes sense, you know? Like each model just means way more, if that makes sense. That's just kind of how I've always looked at it. But yeah, I think I might learn Kill Team because I think my lady might enjoy that more. I've played 1 or 2 games with her, just like 500-point games, and I think it's just a little, you know how it is. If you're not like devout in figuring out how to play Warhammer, then it's kind of an uphill battle, even if you want to learn. If you don't set a bunch of time aside and Google and everything, it's brutal. I'm good. Finished my Riptide yesterday and finished a Ghost Kill tonight. Man, you are cruising along, dude. Dude, the Ghost Kills look so cool. I really like when people make them look like they're like it's partially translucent, like it's like turning into the terrain. I think that's really cool. But yeah, like most of learning how to play Warhammer is just learning your army's rules, man. And it's a healthy chunk, you know. And then I feel like right when I really learn how to play my armies, my favorite armies well, and I feel like I'm finally dialing in, the next codex or the next edition pops out, and I'm like, ah, gotta restart, you know. But yeah, Kill Team seems way more approachable from a casual standpoint. I'm not saying it's casual. I'm sure that people can get just as sweaty with Kill Team as they can with any other game, you know. But in terms of just like getting into it, it seems more of a casual option. But maybe that's just assumptions on my part. I don't know. I need to look into it. But I do think she would probably enjoy Spark Notes Warhammer, you know? When I handed her like 7 sheets of all of her like different units and stuff, like as I printed them out so she could like physically see it and physically remember each one. She was pretty overwhelmed. I was like, it's okay, just take one bite at a time, okay? This isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. Do you guys' spouses play Warhammer, or have you tried to get them in? Give them the sickness as well? Because it's not easy, you know? It's not easy to get anyone into this hobby, especially someone who's not that interested in wargaming to begin with, you know? It's definitely an uphill battle. It's a hill I'll die on, though. But spending time with my lady doing nerdy stuff is just about the coolest stuff you can do, you know, in my opinion. But yeah, let me know if you guys got any strategies to get your significant others to swallow the Warhammer pill, you know? Yeah, I feel like that's probably most people's story, you know? Oh, sorry guys, this is probably super loud and annoying. What's up, acrylic squid? Oh, that's awesome. I'll tell your mom I said hi. That's sweet, dude. Love to hear generational wargaming. That's sick, dude. I used to play video games with my mom way back in the day. We would play Halo Combat Evolved when I was like 12, and I thought I had the coolest mom in the world. She'd play like Wolfenstein and all those like really old school first-person shooters. And she still plays. She plays Fortnite now, but I'm not a big Fortnite player. But apparently she's pretty good. She's like 60-something playing Fortnite out there, dude. That's wild. Yeah, fat boy, I definitely understand that. It's been a slow burn. I got her into Magic the Gathering, which is pretty cool. She almost got a little too into it, though. We had to rein it back in. We got pretty competitive, even with our friends. We forgot that we were playing a game sometimes, you know. I wouldn't say I'd sleep on the couch, but there was times where I'd get close to sleeping on the couch, especially when I killed our commander a couple times in a row. Always commander, dude. That's gonna be me when I turn 60. Dude, I'm so excited for, like, I feel like our generation of retirement homes are gonna be so gassed, dude. We're gonna be out there just playing some split screen Halo and stuff, like Smash Bros and stuff, walking around doing Pokemon Go or whatever I'm sure there's gonna be some crazy VR by the time I get there, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, we play Commander. She actually has a fairy deck she made that she got the secret layer fairies for. And now I'm pretty sure that deck with all the art in it and the exclusivity of it, I think it's like an $800 deck. She spent about $200-300 on it though, so she's up, you know. You should buy her a Combat Patrol. I printed off my lady some Raven Guard, and she is interested in painting it. She just hasn't had time, so we might do a stream here eventually, a little exclusive maybe weekend stream where it'll be painting with Ricky. That'll be super fun. She is interested in it. She's interested in it enough to, like, I know she's doing it to hang out with me, and that's what I'm interested in, which is very thoughtful. But I also know that it's not really her vibe, so I try my best to kind of not ask too much, you know. I don't want to be oppressive with my interests. That's not fair. Yeah, I was thinking about painting it for her, but I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let her, because she loves doing paint by numbers. She does like painting. And honestly, in my opinion, there's not much difference between paint by number and painting models. At least the way I paint. The way I paint is very much a technique. It's not a... it is painting inside the lines for the most part. Like right now I'm painting the shield, and I'm basically just painting the different textures. Ooh, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the party, Wandering Soul. What's up, Rodrigo? Welcome back, buddy. But yeah, getting your significant other to play your nerdness, it's a delicate road, you know? I don't want to seem like a, you know, oppressive is the only way to really describe it. I got my partner into Magic and now I can't win. Does that make me a good teacher? It makes you a fantastic teacher. Or you were always really bad at Magic. Maybe, or maybe she's just a strategic genius and you really just need a, or he or she, sorry, I don't want to assume anything, but yeah, your partner, get your partner into the tournament scene. Ride them coattails to the top. Do like a Rocky coaching scene, you know? When the Padawan becomes the master. Actually, the game that I most recently played with my girl, we did a little Space Wolves versus my Raven Guard versus my Astra Militarum, and she kicked my ass because I was stupid and over aggressive. But I was also telling her, like, you should really like attack me right there because I did something stupid and you need to capitalize on that mistake. And she's like, oh, okay. But yeah, she beat me up. We were playing the mode where you burn the objectives, and I burned my objectives way too early. So she got like a whole 2 rounds more of points than I did from leaving her objectives on the board. But yeah, there's nothing better than hobbying with your significant other. I really don't think so. I don't think there's anything better. I would take that over a romantic getaway or a vacation. I'm not saying those things aren't fun. I'm just, for me and my vibe, just like enjoying each other's company, a little bit of paint between you, maybe a little dice throwing or whatever your flavor of hobbying is. You know, we really like cooking and whatnot, so we cook often together. I think it's important. You gotta find time to do things you both enjoy. You know, she loves snowboarding. I always try and go and fall down the hill with her. I'm not the most amazing, most adept snowboarder. I mean, she looks like Shaun White next to me. I mean, she's just jumping over trees and stuff and sailing over my head, and I'm just like, la 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 la, just going down the hill. But hey, I'm there. I'm going to do 4 broadsides next. Ooh, yeah, dude. I love the broadside. I love the broadside so much, dude. Ooh, yeah. You just talking about broadsides makes me want to play my Tau. That's how much I love the broadside model. I think it's so cool. Just a giant cannon. Come on. Come on, dude. Especially with the Farsight Enclave colors on them. Like, well, get out of town. That sounds so rad. Do it. I don't have anyone to play against. Dude, I'm getting to the point where I kind of want to just set up my 2 different armies I own and just fight them against each other. I feel like it's like playing chess against yourself. I feel like it'd make me a better player, but at the same time, I feel like have you seen that Pixar short animation from years and years and years ago, where it's the old man in the park playing chess against himself? I feel like it'd be like that. Like I'd have to put glasses on and be like, "Ha! I deep stroked you, deep striked you," and I'd be like, you know, do sounds like that. I have Tabletop Simulator. I have probably couple thousand hours in tabletop sim. I used to run D&D games in there. I used to be a GM. I used to be a commission GM. I used to run Pathfinder games and custom RPG that was like you could start playing. I just balance a character out for you real fast and you can start playing. But yeah, I love. Used to be called Drekutar's RPG is what my whole brand for that thing was. That was really fun. But I've never played Warhammer in it. I didn't know about Warhammer when I was in my hardcore tabletop sim games. Dude, I bought a laptop. So usually I'm a desktop guy, but I bought a laptop a few years back, and I went all out. The important thing when you buy a laptop is you can't cheap out. Like my laptop was like 2 G's at the time. I don't know what it's worth now, probably a lot less, but you really gotta ball out on a laptop, or else it won't last that long. But yeah, you definitely should get a laptop. They're so nice. They're just so convenient. But yeah, you gotta ball out. I got like a 4060 Ti or something. Oh, Big Rozer, welcome. Thanks for the follow. Hope you're enjoying. Just me and my ThinkPad against the world, dude. Yeah, get after it, dude. ThinkPad's about, like, isn't that like at the level of like a Chromebook kind of thing? It's almost like a giant Android phone, right? I'm not talking smack either, like, nothing wrong. If you're not gaming, or like right now I'm streaming this through my laptop and I'm doing kind of a crazy, I'm actually like kind of pushing it to its limits right now. The poor thing's been screaming. The fans just have been screaming for a long while. But nothing wrong with a ThinkPad, dude. The nice thing though is it seems like most things, like if you wanted to game, like on Steam, you can like stream games now, so it doesn't even really matter. I feel like soon it's going to get to the level where most of the hardcore computing is going to be done off-site. Like you don't actually have to have the hardware, right? I think all you'll really need is a really fast, high-speed internet connection, and you'll be able to just game at 4K, you know, just stream a game at 4K. I really do think that's where the gaming industry is moving towards. But that's just my opinion. I just kind of see them maneuvering like that, if that makes sense, you know. So it's going to get to a point where, you know, downloading games is going to be a thing of the past. You just subscribe and boom, you can load her up and get after it. I just think that way they'll have more in, like, Cyberpunk. I love Cyberpunk, right? But you definitely had to have a computer that was beefy enough to play it for the longest time, just because of the hardware requirements was pretty stiff on it, you know? And I feel like they lost out on some sales because people couldn't run it. So I feel like just looking at it as a business, they're going to try and maneuver to give access to as many people as possible. So they're going to start having streaming be the #1 way to game. But we'll see. I don't know. That's just conjecture. That's just you know, that's just like my opinion, man. Just got into Warhammer, and I've never been artistic. I'm so scared to paint my army. Okay, my friends, all my buddies, there was about 6 of them, and they all felt exactly how you feel right now, right? A lot of them were like, I never did art class. I was always, you know, I was intimidated. I've never been a drawer or a painter or anything. Don't even stress. Honestly, a lot of people do that. But Austin, if you want to learn how to paint, I promise you the journey is so much fun and so rewarding. All of my friends, I did a painting class with them years ago, and their artwork is fantastic. So I just showed them the techniques. Now, when you think of traditional painting and traditional artwork, right, you're probably thinking like Van Gogh or like Banksy or, you know, those kind of two-dimensional art. When you're painting a model, you're not painting it like that. You're painting it in such a way that you really aren't working too hard, right? So if you can do a coloring book, in my opinion, you can paint a model, because all I'm doing, right, is each one of these surfaces is a raised surface, right? It's a 3-dimensional object. So, and with a 3-dimensional object, it means you're not going to be painting the detail in. The detail's already there. You're just coloring it like a coloring book. Like right now, I'm just painting rope. Just painting this rope. There's no talent here. It's the same as a coloring book, just a coloring book that has depth. So do not be intimidated. Don't be scared. If you want to get into Warhammer, buy a box. And my absolute biggest piece of advice when starting this is never repaint your first model. Okay, that first model is a newborn baby in the world. It is beautiful and it needs to be treasured, because as you grow as a painter, you'll look back at that first model and you'll compare it each time you paint, and you'll be just astounded by what you are capable in the world when you put aside your fear and your doubt, your self-doubt, and you just tackle on challenges. Okay, what's up, Shinivart? I saw you on Twitch yesterday, and I meant to say hi. I didn't see it in time, and I want to apologize, okay? I did see you there. I probably butchered your name. Shinny Variant. I got you. But Austin, do not be intimidated. I know this is all probably horribly overwhelming, but I'm going to tell you right now, buy the Vallejo starter set, right? And get a wet palette and just go get some cheap brushes and get some water and practice thinning your paints and just go after it like it. Just step by step, prime the model, build the models, and just enjoy the process and just be happy making mistakes. Because the fun of this whole hobby is not the completion. Completing a model is not the fun part. The fun part is learning, challenging yourself, finding out new ways, new techniques, new ways of doing something. Even learning how to do something a little bit faster is super rewarding. Like right now I'm speeding through these models because I just painted 3 giant ones, so now I'm just doing some baby ones, but I've already figured out how I wanted to do it through suffering through those first 3 ones, so it's been really satisfying to, you know, slamming these out. These are going to be really quick and easy. So Shinny, sorry, yeah. These are terrible. Send them to me when you're done so I can fix them. You know what? I appreciate that, dude. I know. You know, I don't want you to have the burden, dude, of fixing my mistakes, dude. But I really do appreciate the sentiment. You're a kind soul to do such charity for me. I'm trying to figure out if I can just use the armies I already have for Kill Team, but not sure how. That's also a big question for me. I'm pretty sure you can, right? Like I thought Kill Team was basically like you can make a kill team out of a box of Space Marines was what I thought the selling point was. But I don't even know how to start a roster. Do I just use like new recruit, or that's my roster maker? Do you even make a roster? That's my biggest question is I don't even know where to start, dude. Thanks, dude. I picked it up. I picked up your vibe, dude. Honestly, it's kind of interesting to think about how much I would sell these for, like if I was to sell these, because this isn't a commission. This is just for my personal, you know, enjoyment, you could say, my personal use. It's kind of weird to put a price tag on art, right? Because it's super subjective. You can put the price tag on the time you spent on it, but maybe that doesn't feel right. I thought maybe the quality, but that doesn't feel right either, you know? Like, I don't know. I don't even know how to price things. And people ask me for commissions all the time. Like, I just spit out a number like, I don't know, like $20. The rosters are pre-made with the models that come in team-specific KT boxes. Oh, okay. And then some teams allow for 40K models to be used in a kill team, but the sculpts and loadouts are different. Gotcha. I mean, I'm sure you could just be like, this one is this guy, right? Regardless of loadout. I mean, it's probably easier to play the game with the correct loadout, but the problem also, my big beef is when I do like a block of Space Marines and I want, you know, 4 of them to have bolt guns and 1 to have a plasma rifle or something, but they come with like 3 bolt guns or maybe 2 bolt guns. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about? It's especially bad with my Death Guard. That's really where I'm complaining. It's hard to get the exact loadouts that you want. I feel like to get a 10-man block with the exact proper weapon and loadout, you'd have to buy like 3 boxes of Space Marines to be able to get the proper loadout. So me and my friends have always just been like, this is this guy and this is that guy. Technically you can. Anyway, I just came to say how I'll probably watch on, I'll probably watch on Twitch when I get to my PC. Right on, dude. Well, I'll see you on Twitch. And hi back. Typically you can, especially casually with friends. Each operator has specific loadouts and instructions due to balancing. That makes sense. Are they more like is it like an abilities-based game and less of like, you know, Warhammer has abilities in it for sure, but it's more like your standard you know, Space Marine doesn't really have an ability, but if you give, like, you know, you bring a librarian or something, librarian, where they have keyword abilities, but like stealth or scout. I guess, I don't know, like, how does Kill Team work? I want to learn. Please inform me. I don't like being ignorant. But I'd imagine they're like, this guy can, you know, do this to that. More like, so in like Age of Sigmar, a lot of, the whole game is basically abilities and less about keywords, is my understanding. I still haven't played a game of it, so don't take what I'm saying as gospel either. Have a good stream. I think I opened Pandora's box. I think you definitely did. My mom started showing me her KT books. I gotta go. Yeah. Beach Pack has the rule their team revolves around. Oh, that's dope. Your mom sounds super cool. I wish my mom played Kill Team so she could teach me. As well as strategy ploys and firefight ploys specific to each team. That sounds really cool. It sounds more, honestly, it sounds more in depth than even a normal Warhammer game, you know? Like in Warhammer, you really just have to worry about your army rule. And then aside from that, just, you know, if you bring a character model that gives +1 to charges or melee or whatever, you know, to hit, or gives them a feel no pain or whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's a free key app that has all the teams and their respective rules, employees, and loadouts. Okay, I'll have to check it out. What's the app? Is it just the Warhammer app? I think it's way more simplified and easier to track than 40K. That's my biggest issue is every game I play of 40K, I feel like I have forgotten a rule or forgotten something that like was critical. Like when I was playing my Astra Militarum a couple matches ago, I totally forgot about my entire combined arms rule that allows when a regiment is shooting a vehicle to give lethal hits. Same thing with like a squadron, or no, it's squadron fighting a vehicle or monster, it gives lethal hits or something like that. And then regiment, same thing against other infantry. Yeah, I totally botched that, totally forgot. And it hurt, because I was like, oh, I could have done a lot more, whoops. Just put paint on there that I didn't mean to, but that's okay. We can fix that. We'll fix that in post. It's just called Kill Team? All right, I'll check it out. Maybe I'll look into it specifically, because I think that might be a little more inviting to play with my girl. Less overwhelming. Not saying she's smarter than me in every way, and she definitely could, but it's the time aspect, you know? You quite literally have to study a lot of this. You know, I feel like Warhammer is a lot of studying. I ain't painting off screen, sorry guys. I don't know how long I've been doing that for. For sure. Well, thank you. I definitely appreciate the little tutoring. But yeah, that sounds like a lot more, you know, the bar of entry seems probably simpler, but the ceiling sounds higher, if that makes sense. You know, if that makes sense. Which is just the kind of game I like. What's up, Chad? Welcome in, buddy. All right, let's I'm gonna scoot this back a little bit so I can relax a little bit more into it. Whoops. So being painting off screen the whole time. Let's do this. Ooh, yeah, that feels a lot better. Scoot this back a hair. There we go. Okay, let's do, what else do we have? Oh, we have some more metal to do on this guy, so we're gonna paint that real quick. I feel like black and brown lasts forever in my palette. I never have to, like it, in terms of it just like living, you know? I'm not really rehydrating it all the time, like I have to do with my other colors. What's your favorite kill team to play? What's your fancy, brother? Ooh, Johnny with the heart me. Thank you so much. Welcome back. How are you doing today? They called into the universe for the worthy and I answered. Welcome back, buddy. How you doing? Having fun with the new Necrons team. Nice, dude. I'm sure they have a little bit of resurrection nonsense, probably, I'd assume, with Necrons. And thank you so much for the heart me, dude. It's much appreciated. Man, you made an entrance, buddy. You made an entrance. I feel like blocking in, we all know what blocking in colors is like, but man, if it's not dry. It's the most important step, though. If you slack on the block in, everything else suffers. So you gotta take your time and do it right. That's the problem with it, you know. It's the foundation for the rest of your painting. The old Necron team was kind of broken with the reanimations though. So it's kind of got balanced out. Doing good, just got some Vallejo paint and some new brushes. Also palette paper now, nice. Did you get like legit palette paper or are you a parchment paper kind of guy? Because I've never used actual. This is the first wet palette that I've used actual wet palette paper for. I just usually use just parchment paper because I'm cheap. I'm a cheap guy. This is Warhammer on a budget. This is poor hammer. Pour hammer. That's where I shine. Okay, I think this guy is basically... Oh, gotta get these ropes in. Well, that's awesome. What kind of new brushes did you get? Did you get synthetic? Did you get real hair? What'd you get, bud? Legit palette paper. I was using cardboard. Oh no, not cardboard. That's like the worst thing you can do. It probably sucked up that paint so fast. You mad lad. You absolute mad lad. Synthetic? Nice, dude. I usually paint with synthetic paints. This is the first time that I've been messing about with a real brush. Maybe not a real brush, but a real hair brush is the better way of describing it. Ooh, Vic with the follow. Thank you, buddy. Welcome to the party. Currently just working on some Gargants here for my proxy army. But yeah, I used to, for years, I would just use super cheap, buy like 20 in a bag brushes from the internet, and when they went out, I just throw them away and keep trucking on with the next pair, you know? So this is actually the first time I've been using a real brush, so it's a whole different ball game over here. This is a new world for me. Really, the hardest part about blocking in is figuring out what all these different things are, you know? At least that's my hardest part. Just trying to find the detail that you need to paint a different color. But sweet, dude. What are you working on, Johnny? What are you painting with those new Vallejos and those new brushes? I do airbrush, yeah. So all of the skin work on here was airbrushed to begin with. And then what I'll do is I'll put my oil paints on, like with this guy. All the skin on here was airbrushed. And then I'll do my oil paints, and I'll brush in my shadows, and I'll do my highlights. And generally my airbrush does most of my midtones. Kind of just blocks it in, to be honest with you. And then when I go to hand paint it, it's a lot easier because most of the work has been done already. I just kind of follow what the airbrush did. I just exaggerate it quite a bit. I also use my airbrush for priming, my zenithal spray, and my OSL lights. But yeah, I do like a good airbrush. And it's really satisfying. Airbrushing is satisfying. When it's working, it's very satisfying. The problem is to get the airbrush consistency just right. I'm getting a little bit better about it, but yeah, an airbrush definitely does help. But I also think the best things I've ever seen painted were brush painted. Can't get away from a nice, perfectly brush painted model. Also, the best OSL I see out there is from brush painting it. So if you think that you can't paint object source lighting or any kind of lighting effects or glow effects because you don't have an airbrush, you're selling yourself short, because you definitely can. But yeah, probably airbrush. I try to pick whatever the largest surface is on the model, right? So on these little guys, it's the flesh, of course. Actually, thinking about it, I think I'm going to airbrush these pants. I'm going to airbrush these pants and these boots. That'll save me so much time. I didn't even think about that. I'm going to definitely airbrush these after I get done blocking in the rest of these big boys here. Yeah, boy. Ooh, Allie
coming in with the roses. Thank you so much, Al. How are you doing today, my dear? Ooh. Thank you so much, Al. How do you mask areas other than tape? I don't actually really mask my areas, to be honest with you. I just kind of, like this is just, I just spray it, right? I've masked things like once or twice, and I basically just wrap the area I don't want in paper towels and hold it. So I'll just hold the paper towel to it. That's basically how I mask. I'm pretty lazy. Some people get crazy and use like latex masking. I just, honestly, the amount of work putting that on and then taking it off is like the same amount of work it would take to just repaint it if I overpaint or oversprayed. So I just kind of send it, you know? And painter's tape, I've found it does work well. The problem is it'll still, the airbrush will kind of float up underneath it, if that makes sense. Like even if you, like, cause like just with the nature of the 3D surface, that paint does, or that tape doesn't really lend itself to moving too much. Yeah, boy. Al, you're so gracious. How is my favorite sibling doing today? Well, thank you guys so much for liking the live. I sure do appreciate it. I think I might have to go back in and use a little bit darker of a brown here. I haven't decided yet. This brown should be darker, but for some reason it's not coming out darker. Might be because it's just a thin coat. I might just hit it again with a little bit darker of a brown. Silly putty is great for masking, really easy to, yeah, I have seen that before, and I thought it was wicked smart too, and silly putty's so cheap that you can just throw it away when you're done if you don't feel like trying to reuse it. I did see someone use that. I thought it was really smart. Yeah, but I just try and paint. I plan how I'm going to paint it, and then I just get after it. And if the plan doesn't go well and I got to repaint some stuff, that's okay. That's kind of my 2 cents on it. For me, I feel like masking takes more work than just repainting it, so I'll just repaint. Because I'm honestly inherently a really lazy painter. That I know it's like counterintuitive, you know. Edges after removing it, for sure. I use primarily Vallejo paints. So I'm basically a Vallejo painter, and I use Citadel contrast paints, Winsor Newton oils, and yeah, that's about it. A lot of Vallejo. I love Vallejo. They're just so, like, creamy is the word I want to use. They're like whole milk. If you paint, you know what I mean, especially if you use Vallejo paints. So the new game color range, it really comes right out of the bottle pretty much almost perfect. Almost perfect. It depends. Each paint is a little bit different right out of the bottle. But their new game color range is, I really just wet my brush and then roll it in the paint like that right there. All I did was wet my brush, roll it in the paint, and it's ready to go. Like, look how smooth that applies. That's one of my favorite things about it right now is the consistency, and it has a high pigmentation value. So when I do one coat, it really does a good coverage right out of the bottle, you know. But yeah, I just add the water into my brush, and that tends to be enough. I don't have to sit there and like actually kind of like mix it and fix its consistency, which the older, like the model color range that they've had for years, which I've always enjoyed using. I've used Vallejo for probably 8 years now. That you would have to add quite a bit of water to and kind of work with for a little bit to get it to the consistency where you can get some work done pretty quick. But nowadays it's pretty perfect. My light's a little too bright on the model. Let's move it. That seems a little bit better. Now you guys can actually see. Yeah, the game colors are amazing. I love my game colors. Oh, thanks, Alan. I appreciate that. Welcome in, buddy. And yeah, the Vallejo paints, they're just so... The new game color range is so smooth. I haven't used their express color range yet. Ooh, Allie with the heart me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Welcome to the party once again. But yeah, and I really like Citadel contrast paints, and I like them because I don't use them like they tell you to use them. I actually water them down quite a bit, and I use them as as washes, or I'll recolor an object with them. So I'll take I'll paint a lot of my stuff in neutral white, or you know, if I just want to change the shade on one thing, but I want to, you know, just differentiate it just a little bit, that's where contrast paints really shine, is just changing the visual aspect of one of your paints just to a little bit different of a hue. And that way you can base multiple things with the same color and save a little bit of time, and then you can just, boom, change the shade just by a hair. And I'll do that with a lot of different stuff. So even like my different tans and browns and whatnot, if I want to, say, make a rope look a little bit different from whatever that rope is on, then I'll hit it with maybe Dark Hoth Flesh, which is kind of a warmish, brownish red kind of color. Or if I want it to look more like bone, I'll do Skeletal Horde on it, which is a really nice tannish brown contrast paint. So yeah, if you haven't ever used contrast paints or speed paints, they're an amazing tool. Just don't use them as your base coat. If you don't use them as your base coat, you'll get a way better product. What's up, H? Welcome back. And so I use oil paints for all my washes, and they're really nice because you can remove them with mineral spirits. So you can hit them, all of these like really rich, deep browns on this model, like all of this in the bone, all of this like darkish brownish red in the flesh. That's all oil paints, and you almost kind of do a reverse dry brush. So I mean reverse as in, instead of adding paint, you're removing it on the raised surfaces with the mineral spirit. So I'll just take Q-tips and just go through the model and, you know, slowly remove all the paint in the areas I don't want it to be. So that's why I like doing oil washes, is you can get a way more controlled kind of aspect to it, whereas sometimes with washes, they can kind of get out of control, right? I actually don't really use any wash paints. I do have Agrax Earthshade and Nuln Oil and stuff, and the bottle still as full as the day I bought it, just because I really don't like how it flows. I don't like where it settles, and I don't like how strong the pigment is when it does settle. I don't know how else to describe it. I would rather build up layers with contrast paints and get the same effect with more control. So Skin is my greatest enemy for mini painting. Converting from brain to model, yeesh, hard for me. So the best advice I can give for painting flesh is think of it as painting translucent blood. And I mean that as skin right underneath the surface has blood, right? So when you're painting flesh, what you're really doing is you're highlighting over a really warmish brown tone. Or if you're doing like, green skin or something, the same effect kind of applies. So if you treat it less like it's some different color, and you just treat it as kind of a peach tone, then your flesh will be a lot easier. If you just shift the narrative in your brain from I'm painting flesh to I'm just painting a nice pinkish peach color, that'll also help. So, and also envision that kind of blood just being right underneath the surface. And I say that because you really want your shadows, like the skin in here, you really want those shadows to be brown and red and warm and vibrant and deep, and then you start in with your midtones that is like a peach color, and then your highlights with your warm whites. And that is my biggest tip for painting flesh. And also just repetition. If you're scared to paint flesh, or if it's hard, just find a model that's like all flesh and just get after it, H, I like watering down paint. I love watering down paint, dude. That's like the one thing I try and teach new painters is like adding paint to the model. 90% of the work is just getting the paint the right consistency, That's really the hard part. Painting it's the easy part. It's getting your paint to cooperate with you. That's the hard part. So yeah, if you're a new painter, practice thinning your paints and getting it to a workable level. That's just about the hardest concept to kind of work on right at the beginning. And when in doubt, thin it more. Okay. And if it pools on your model, just dab it on a paper towel and remove some of that moisture out of it, and you'll find that your paintings will become more consistent and easier. So if you DM me or check out the bio or the link in my bio, there's one little link there that starts with a P. I can't say it because TikTok gets mad. But we are actually going to start doing painting classes here soon. They're going to be kind of a subscription-based model where each month we'll paint a model together, and the model will be shipped out to you and a list of any different paints that you'll need, and it'll be a class on Zoom where you can get a webcam and show your model as we're painting, and there'll be a lecture on kind of the core concepts of art in terms of lighting, painting, color theory, just the ways to prepare your model, and then we'll paint a model together. And the first one we're going to start probably in February is what I'm thinking is going to be the launch date for that. And so the first one will be free, but you'll still have to purchase the first model. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. I think it'll be really fun. We're going to be painting this guy right here. But yeah, it's a Sylvaneth kind of sorceress. Should be really fun. I'll show you how to do kind of a quick glow effect on the weapon. I'll show you it's my version of slap chop. Honestly, what I'm doing right now is my version of slap chop. Slap chop has kind of a bad rap. I do it in a different way where you get a way better and cleaner result. And yeah, it should be really fun. For sure, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll talk about getting it just right, and I need to set up the tier as well. But yeah, the first class will be free because we're going to be figuring out how to do the class and what will work with it. So it'll be kind of a tutorial for us. And you will get some nice, hopefully some nice knowledge and a mini that you'll be happy with in the future. And then we'll, each month we'll do a poll on what model we'll paint next, whether it's a sci-fi model or a fantasy model or large scale model, a small scale. And then I'm also planning to do kind of a beginner and intermediate and advanced class as well. But I really think my style of painting is not too difficult. It's mainly just techniques, and if you're interested, I'd love to show you how I do it. Should be really fun. At the very least, I want it to be a fun experience. That's really what I'm going for. I want it to be something that after you're done, regardless of your painting skill, hopefully you'll have learned something new at the very minimum, and be happy with whatever model we painted. So that's kind of what we've been working on lately. It's trying to do a launch for that, so should be really fun. Yeah, and we'll make sure, and the model will also arrive at your house, and it'll be pre-primed, just like it is right here. This is actually from Resin Reborn, who will be supplying the models. And he pre-primes these, and they're expertly 3D printed. So, and a lot of the core concepts of how I paint will translate as well. So if you're wondering maybe, oh, I don't want to learn how to do a fantasy model, it'll be the same concept you can use in a lot of different ways as well. So, the tutoring, just shoot me a DM. We can find a day and a time, and whatever you're working on or whatever you specifically have questions on, we will figure it out, and you can show me what you're working on, and I can demonstrate a concept. Yeah, and you just get an hour or so of my time, however I can help you with whatever you're up to and whatever you're working on. That's the plan for that. So, but yeah, thank you for asking. I'm really excited about it. I could talk about it for an hour, hours. I think it'll be a really fun experience for those that are interested. So I want it to be kind of a community thing. So at the end, when we're all done painting, if you're comfortable with it, you can post your model on my Discord, and we will have a panel of judges pick the best model, and you'll get a little prize. We don't know what that prize is going to be yet, but I think it'd be, at the very least, a fun experience for everyone involved, hopefully. Oh no, the music. Oh no, I can hear myself think. Panic. Let's do this one. This one sounds fun. Whoops. I'm gonna ruin this brush just by slamming it into everything as I'm painting. Maybe that lighting will be a little bit better. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Cool. Adam, how are you doing today? I'm sorry it took me forever to message you back today. I sure do apologize. It was a work day, if you know what I mean. You know? Thank you so much for getting me to 3,000 likes, guys. You guys are great. Oh, I'm just excited for, we're taking Thursday and Friday off, and it's going to be my first 4-day weekend since last year. I haven't taken any time off in about a year now, and it's starting to slowly wear me down, starting to get a little burnt, if you know what I mean. Nice and crispy on the edges over here. I'm currently running a job, and I have trust issues, so it's hard for me not to be there, you know. So yeah, the 4-day weekend is much needed. I'm very excited to spend some time with some family and my lady and just really enjoy each other's company. I'm really excited for it. But yeah. Adam, you doing anything fun for Thanksgiving? Just doing some family time as well? But brushes, I know, right? Yeah. Allie, I'm excited to hang out with you at Grandma's. Friday, the models show up. Yeah, dude. That's what you're excited for. I'm pretty excited for you to see them. Hopefully they, you know, hopefully you're okay with them. It's not my best work, I'm going to be honest with you. The next ones I send you are going to be just that much more superior. I was kind of painting with what I had on hand. Like I said, I'd run out of paint, so I was trying to really extend the life of what paint I had left, and so the next one shall be even more professional, buddy. Haven't decided if I'm doing one from just my girlfriend and I. Generally, I do the whole meal, and it feels weird not doing it, but it's just the two of us. Well, if it's just the two of us, don't do turkey. Do a nice steak, man. You know? You have free will in this world. You can do steak if you want for Thanksgiving. Who says you have to do? We're doing prime rib, I think, is what our family started doing prime rib because we're just, I don't know, turkey's kind of boring. I mean, I'm a part of a family of cooks, and we all know how to cook well, but we all have agreed that turkey is boring. Yeah, no more $7 paints. Yeah, that's for sure. But yeah, we're gonna do some prime rib. I'm pretty stoked for that. I am a fat guy. I love me a good steak. Okay, this is a steak household. If I could choose a meal every single day, it would just be steak, and that would be the beginning and the end of the conversation. One steak, please. We had a really big order for a D&D campaign. It's just about completely out the door. Nice, dude. That's awesome. Congratulations, dude. What's up, Alexis? Welcome in. Dude, that's sick, man. So we'll get to paint this holiday weekend, so I'm stoked. That's sweet. Yeah, we're probably going to do kind of a preemptive remodeling. We're not going to remodel this weekend. We're just going to preemptively, if that makes sense, kind of prepare for it, because we're going to try and remodel this game room and get a really cool streaming setup. We're probably going to do it kind of around Christmas, I think. So this weekend, once we get home from the holidays and my lady has some time, we're going to try and put together the game room, make it a little more interesting, you know? We spend so much time in here, you gotta, wherever you spend the most time in the house should have been the priority, but, you know, that's not how everything always goes, you know? I've got a Seraphon and a Zinch proxies to paint. Nice, dude. Those are some sweet models, dude. So, after the Sylvaneth army, I wanted a Destruction army, a Order army, and now I'm trying to figure out what Chaos army I want to do, and I'm kind of leaning to Skaven, man. I feel like Skaven are really calling my name. I want to paint some gross rats, dude. I feel like some ratties would be pretty fun. But the Seraphon are so sick. Same with the Zinch. I've never been big on Zinch just because of the lore, but I've always thought the bird models were so cool. Yeah, the bird models, dude, the whole, especially that two-headed bird. Oh, which I think you have on your website, right? Didn't Clay Beast just come out with that model? It's such a cool model, man. Yep, just this past month, I've got the other one printed already. Sweet, dudes. Yeah, dude. His version of it is honestly cooler than the original by like a metric fuck ton, in my opinion. Like, I saw that and I was like, ooh, maybe Zinch is the army I go with, you know? But I also, so full disclosure, I have now the Sylvaneth to do after this, because I just don't want one army. No one likes fighting against one singular army all the time, so I'm trying to get two different armies going. But I'm gonna have the Sylvaneth, and then I gotta paint my Grey Knights. So my Grey Knights came from one of my friends that actually passed away recently, and so I want to do a memorial army for him. I've been trying to think about the best way of accomplishing that too, so I've been kind of brainstorming. But I think I'm just gonna go with the classic. I painted one with him years ago to kind of show him how the business works around here. We did a little paint session together, and the model turned out really awesome. He did a great job. So I think I'm just gonna mirror that and do a whole memorial army for him. Really good buddy of mine. I use Vallejo paints. That's my favorite paint. I use Vallejo paints, and I use contrast paints from Citadel primarily. I also use Winsor Newton oils for my washes. But yeah, that's what I like to use. I love Vallejo's new game color, especially with their BSL system. Their base shadow and highlights are fantastic. You can buy a 4 set of a color here and there, and it comes with 4 paints that all work together really well. And they mix very nice. Yeah, it's you know, it's life. Unfortunately, you know, his heart gave out one day. It's just a shame. He's a really good dude, really good person. I'm just happy I was able to hang out with him and spend some time with him, get to know him. It was an honor. So yep, we're gonna do a Grey Knights army, and it's gonna be called the Mat Memoriam, In Memoriam Mat, or something like that. Whatever the Latin is. I figured out the Latin, because I was gonna paint tabard or the banners in memoriam Matthew. But yep, bubbly bubbles. That's what I like painting with. I like painting with Vallejo. That's my jam. That's where I've used old paints for so long that I actually recently have started using these new paints, and it's just changed the game for me personally. What's up, Tommy? The nice thing too with the Vallejo game colors, you don't really need to add a ton of water. They right out of the gate, they flow really nice. Like look at that pigmentation with that black there. They flow really nicely. They feel good. They feel silky, if that makes sense. If you're really familiar with painting, they feel like a nice whole milk kind of creamy, silky kind of feeling to them, and the pigmentation is fantastic on them. And I also airbrush with them. I just add a little bit of flow aid, some acrylic flow improver is all I do. Maybe a little touch of water as well. So that's what I airbrush. I don't buy airbrush paints. I feel like they're a scam because all it is acrylic paint with flow aid in it. I do have airbrush paints, and they are nice, but I could burn through a bottle of airbrush paints in no time. No time at all. But yeah. Whoops, that's okay. We'll repaint that in a minute. What color of hair should I make this guy? I was thinking black, but now I'm kind of thinking I don't want to do brown. I already have a blonde and I have white hair. Should I make him a ginger, like me? Thinking a ginger like me sounds pretty funny. I wish this model was in 2 pieces. That would make it a lot easier to paint. I think this is the most amount of metal I've painted on these giants so far. This big guy here. This big guy's sword. I'm painting it metal. It probably isn't metal. It looks almost like it's bone, a piece of bone or something. But I'm kind of outboned. I've painted too many bones at this point, so we're gonna do a big metal, like he ripped a chunk of a gate off or something, you know? I think that sounds like fun, so that's what we're doing. I'm gonna make it all rusty too, I think. I think that sounds like fun. Sometimes you just gotta go with what's fun, you know? So what colors are you gonna do for your big Zinch guy? Are you gonna go classic, kind of blue and purples and prismatic cold colors and stuff like that? Or are you gonna flip the script and do like some red Zinch or green Zinch or something? What's up, Blade? Welcome in, buddy. Tidal Turtles, how you doing? Welcome in. Painting off stream again. You guys gotta tell me this. I'm bad. I do it so much. Whoops. Blue, purple with a fluorescent green at the edges of the wings. Ooh, yeah, and using a panel liner. Nice. Then I'll see some people do a splatter of white on the wings. That's gonna be sick, dude. Let me know if I can help you out at all. Call me up and FaceTime me or anything, dude. It's literally, I am at your disposal, buddy. Any way I can help you succeed. That sounds sick, though. A guy came in yesterday asking how to paint lace, black lace. I feel like I helped him out. That's a challenge. I've never actually painted that before. I was like, this is how I would do it. But good luck. I hope it goes well. And he's like, oh, thank you so much, man. I'm really interested to see how it turned out. Hope he comes back in here. I love the challenge, dude. That sounds like a real challenge, a painting challenge. It sounds like fun, dude. It's gonna turn out great. I already can tell. Yeah, I need to figure out how to clip stuff, so if I'm on my phone, I just slap down clips. When you hand out tips, yeah, it's gonna take forever, but it will be fun. I would love if you did that. Oh, if you could clip my stuff for me, it would be so nice, and it would save me so much time. What's up, Johnny? I think we have 2 Johnnies in here now. The Johnnies are back, the War of the Johnnies. Looks like we're gonna have another Highlander fight on our hands. Also have a giant to finish. Oh, you have a giant to finish? Which giant are you painting? The King? Oh, you did I can't remember his actual name, but the King Broad proxy? That's awesome. He's really fun to paint. I honestly, this whole venture started, you remember, I just posted it to Clay Beast, and I had streamed a little bit of it just because, you know, why not? I was just kind of messing around. And that's where this whole adventure started, was just me just painting that big guy. I went blue skin because I'm planning to use him as an ice giant for D&D. Nice, dude, yeah. Nice bluish hue. I have failed to get a duplicate Optimus so far. Damn, dude. Is it like randomized when they come out of the boxes? Because that would be frustrating. Especially since you're missing that piece. I remember you mentioning that, I think it was yesterday or the day before. Is the AC on right now? I feel like my AC is on, which is wild. It should not be on right now. Yep, completely random with the exception of the large kits. That's kind of fun though. I mean, as fun as it is, equally probably frustrating, especially when you're missing a piece, like you said.
It's a cool concept though. I dig it. So the large kits, you can just buy exactly what you want, but the little baby ones are all random. That's kind of fun. I think I'm gonna make this guy redhead as well. I like painting red hair, it's fun. But I think I'm gonna go kind of a pure blood ginger, you know, like one of those copper tones. More orange than red. Oops. But yeah, I think I'm gonna paint this guy with red hair. So I'll have a blonde, a gray beard, and red hair. I think that sounds fun. I'm not gonna do brown hair because there's plenty of brown already on this model. You know? Don't want to do too much of one thing. Plus, you can only paint so much brown before it all just kind of gets to be just painting brown. If I could have gotten a Magnus and Nemesis Prime, I'd be 80% done with building my guy. Damn. And you're kind of like mishmashing them together, right? You're kind of doing a kit bash thing. And the other parts just don't work. Am I understanding that correctly? I want to try a new method of painting where I start with oils and I just oil wash the crap out of it, just like with one tone, and it's just a shadow that goes through, that'll be like the very deep rich shadow for the whole model, and then you start painting on top of that. I really want to try it. I haven't tried it yet. I'm interested in seeing if I can make that happen. It sounds like fun. Yep, they need to be Optimus or Optimus-like parts. That's crazy, dude. That's really cool, though. Never heard of that before. Sounds really fun. Sounds very original, too. Like, you can really play and explore and have your own very unique version of whatever you're going for. That sounds so cool, dude. I bid you luck getting that last part. That's got to be frustrating, though. I gotta say, I think I like painting bone more than anything else. I really do like painting bone. It's so much fun. There's nothing wrong with a little bone painting, you know? Heck, Armless Magnus would work since Armless Magnus is pure white Optimus. Oh, I didn't know that. I need to look up all this stuff so I can have a better understanding. I feel so out of the loop. Added too much water. We're gonna get rid of some of this water here. I don't like that. I don't like how much water there is. So we're just gonna get rid of it. And we're gonna let that dry for a little bit, and we'll come back at it. I'm trying to get these bases, or blocked in, these colors blocked in as fast as possible. But just like with the big boys, they have so many cool details on them, which is fantastic, but it takes a lot of paint, a lot of different colors. I am really trying to be done with this army. I know it seems like I might be just like spending forever and ever on it, but I mean, if I was batch painting like Astra Militarum, ooh, I need to finish my Astra Militarum army too. Would you guys be interested in watching me paint some Astra Militarum? Because I really like painting those guys too. They're fun. They're easy and quick. Oh, Wraithbone is my favorite bone paint. Oh, no doubt. This is the Vallejo equivalent of Wraithbone. It's literally, honestly, it's better. It feels better, it flows better, it has better coverage. But it's the same Wraithbone that you know and love. It's called Elfic Flesh. It's fantastic. Fantastic. I love it. I love Wraithbone because it's so versatile, right? It's versatile because I can hit my Wraithbone with any of my contrast paints and it is now a whole different color, but it still has that nice warmth undertone to it, you know? I want to watch you paint a giant phoenix. No reason. I want to see you do a dragon. I'm going to do the giant phoenix soon. No reason at all, right? No ulterior motives whatsoever. That is on the agenda. I'm going to paint, I'm going to finish this army. I was going to paint the mock-up Sylvaneth. And then the Sylvaneth Sorcerer. I was going to practice on a Dryad first to get exactly the process down. And then I was going to paint the Phoenix. Was the order of operations here. So I'm trying my bestest to go fastest on these guys. Because once these guys are done, then I just have to base all of these models, and that'll take like a day or two. Maybe even less than that, probably a day. Take a day to dry is really what it'll take. A day to build the bases, and I got cork coming, I got trees and bushes, and a bunch of stuff coming in the mail right now for the bases for these guys. I might 3D print off a couple like houses and stuff. Maybe like half a dead cow or something. Like they got squished. You paint infinitely faster than me. I'm super excited to see the paint class model painted. Yeah, that one will honestly take me like one night because I plan to, I'm not gonna go, I'm gonna make it look really good, but with the least amount of steps possible. That's the plan for the very first one. So instead of trying to like not only teach someone how to paint something like crazy complex, but also I'm gonna leave it kind of open-ended. So I'm not gonna go wildly out of my way to make it like super advanced, because then we can save it for another paint class. And if people want to do kind of advanced techniques on it, then we'll do advanced techniques as well. So I'm gonna practice on a Dryad or two what I'm planning to do. It's inside my head right now. I'm thinking it'll be exactly what I think it'll be. But yeah, but the Phoenix will be super fun to paint. I'm gonna take my time on that. My favorite way to base my minis is rattle can at Chaos Block, then lightly brush Necron compound. Ah, that's nice. You doing the cork sheets you tear apart or raw cork? I bought like a 60 pack of 1/4 inch, 4 inch by 4 inch cork board, like coasters. So I'm gonna just tear those up and get them all craggly. So. What type of brushes do you use? Right now I'm using a Kowalski brush. I usually use synthetic brushes. This is the first time I'm actually like using a decent brush. This is a Fumi Kolinsky, sorry, not whatever I said, Kowalski, Kolinsky Sable. This is a number 3. I actually like to paint with a larger brush. This brush is a little too small for my flavor. But yeah, I usually paint with just synthetic brushes, but I'm testing these out because I'm sick of my synthetic brushes bending to a 45 degree at the end. So it's a completely different feeling though. I didn't think it would be, but it really does feel different. Not in a bad way, just different. So normally I just paint with like these guys here, these synthetic brushes. But as you can see, my tips at the end aren't so tippy. If that makes sense. But yeah. So yeah, I'm going to do corkboard sheets. I'm going to put some trees in there. I'm going to use my acrylic coarse medium, which is basically a liquid sand kind of thing. And then I will oil wash it, add rocks as well, like actual just like gravel looking rocks. My plan is to do kind of almost a forest. I wanted to go the forest into a farm is the vibe I'm going to be going for. Like they're coming down off of the mountains and raiding a little farm village is what I want my bases to look like. I'm really excited about it. Oops. I've made a brush with my own hair once. Did you really? That's pretty cool. I didn't even know you could do that. We have some epic basing stuff. Also, if you ever want some bits for basing, hey buddy, I will take whatever you would like to send me. No, but I literally have a giant box of rocks and foliage and trees and this and that. I just had to get a couple. I had to re-up on my cork supply. It had dwindled down into nothing after I did all my death guard and Tau basing. I've actually been avoiding basing for a while, but I do have just an enormous amount of stuff. But I appreciate it. I actually have never based with technical paints either. I did think about doing like a snowy forest kind of vibe with these guys, but I like the idea that they're coming from the forest and not that, or sorry, a snow. I like the idea that they're coming from a snowy mountain, not that they're in a snowy mountain, you know? And I also wanted the colors of the base to kind of offset the blues and browns that I've done, kind of give it a little more variance in color, you know? Stream froze on my end for a bit. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't know. I think my internet just took a dip for some reason. Is it good now? Sorry about that. I don't know if it was, I think it was just my internet. I apologize. It's been a little spotty for some reason lately. I just thin my paints with water. Some people do glaze medium and stuff, but that's a little too rich for my blood. A little bit of water. I do understand using the glaze mediums is nice. If you ever want to know what contrast paint is, it's basically just glaze medium and acrylic paint. So you can turn anything into a contrast or speed paint, just if you put enough glaze medium in it. But yeah, I just add a little bit of water. The nice thing about Vallejo Game Color is right out of the bottle, it's pretty close to exactly what I want usually. So it doesn't take much, just a drop or two of water. Generally, I just will add a little bit of water to my brush in between refilling of the brush. And that's just enough to get what I need done. So yeah, I just thin it with water. Nothing fancy over here. Whoops.
I think I did. Oh yeah, you made brush with your own hair. That's wild, dude. I don't even know you could do that. I use bottled water to thin like a quarter of a cap. I don't even do that. I just do some tap water, dude. Maybe I need to start getting more serious about what I thin my paints with. This is like 6-day old water, and I mean, look at the water I use. You see this? So if you're interested on how I do my water situation, this is my like thick my nasty rinse, right? So this is where I get most of my paint off, and then this is my clean rinse. But honestly, the clean rinse is kind of getting as bad as the major rinse. So I know I'm terrible. I'm really lazy. You use distilled water? Maybe I should check that out. That's kind of smart. A demineralized water. I didn't even think about that. Maybe I'll try that out. Never even thought about not like I just always use some tap water, dude. You know? Is not the cleanest, yeah. Maybe I'll just use I do have filtered water. I don't have I have a really nice filter for my drinking water. Maybe I'll try that out. I think I actually have a gallon that in my work van that I use to refill batteries with. Maybe I'll just take that out and use that. It's pretty smart. Didn't even think about that. Hey, you's a pretty smart guy, dude. Hey, you's pretty smart. But a lot of people have been telling me to use glaze medium or try glaze medium. A lot of people are getting really good results with it, so might have to check that out as well. Do a couple tests. Oops. 1/6 scale models. Oh, that's rad. Those are big. Those are big. How big are that's big. Like how big is let's say a Space Marine? It's gotta be pretty big, right? It's massive. I don't do commissions though, just for me and close friends because I don't want it to feel like work. Yeah, I'll be honest. It's I really enjoy it. I enjoy what I'm doing right now, and I'm trying to toe the line on not letting it become work. I still really enjoy hopping on here, but the nice thing is you don't have to take a commission if you don't want to. Is what I keep telling myself. I am the arbiter of my own workload. Sergeant Major Sav. That's a cool name too, buddy. Yeah, I think I might just try that distilled water. That sounds way better. I didn't even think about it. .6 has got to be giant, right? I'm not crazy, right? Sweet, yeah, I'll definitely check it out after this, dude. Is it the same name? Before screen gets a water. Little forest green water. Quarter. 1/6 would mean a Space Marine is over 1 foot tall. That's what I was thinking, right? Yeah, say name Sergeant Major Sav. I'll definitely check it out. I love all the different ways you can enjoy this hobby. Do you use like an FDM printer? Vietnam Wolverine statue? That sounds so cool. That sounds so cool. Forest Green gets a quarter. No FDM? Do you use a resin printer or do you buy these statues? How do you acquire such large pieces, my guy? My dude. Explain yourself, boy. I want to learn more. Because I kind of want to paint one. That sounds like fun. As if I don't have plenty to paint already. Adam's sitting there like, stop wanting to paint everything. My 2 resin printers, and I got a Uniformation GK2 and an M7 Max. Nice. Functional stuff, I got 2 bamboo. That's sweet. I mean, do you just upscale the model really large? Is that what you do? We're about to gingerify this guy. Typically they come default at 1/6. Sometimes I'll scale them down just a tad. Gotcha. Yeah, I was just thinking like scaling up a 100mm tall model to a foot would be pretty wild. It's so cool though, dude. A lot of people have been begging me to paint some like Transformers or Marvel characters. I'm thinking I might have to do some of it, you know, diversify my portfolio, not do just nothing but Warhammer. It says Patty paints minis, not Patty paints Warhammer because he's a sycophant for Warhammer. Do you really? I was thinking about doing a fanfare-ish model, if you know what I mean. Sounds like fun. I do want to do a Nezuko for my girlfriend. We're big Demon Slayer fans, and Nezuko is like her favorite. So I do want to do a Nezuko eventually. A Tanjiro. Be cool to do a Tanjiro and then have a Nezuko like fit in the box. So if you open up the box, you can see Tanjiro in there. That'd be pretty cool. Is that a goatee or does he just have a great jawline? I think it's just a really good jawline and a goatee. I'll check after I finish these 2 last models, right? Yeah, I would love to paint a Nezuko. The idea of painting the checkerboard and whatnot sounds like so much fun, and trying to freehand Nezuko's like dress or kimono, I feel like would be super fun, super challenging in the right way, you know? Try and expand my skill set, and I don't usually free paint textiles. So I think it would be a really fun way to force myself to grow a little bit, you know?
try my best. So you incorporate any pastels? I love to use pastels in my model. I do have some pastels. I've used them a little bit for. I've used wax and chalk pastels for like rust effects and grease and grime. I did that for my tank models, not my Lehman Russ like Warhammer one, just like my normal tank models, my Tameo tank models. I really enjoyed it. I actually haven't even thought about them in a while. Maybe I'll crack those out. Use some more pastels because they're really nice. You pastel it a bit and then hit it with a little, hit it with a bit of what's it called, varnish. And they're locked in. That sounds super fun right now. I'd love to use some pastels. I usually only use them for like effects. Do you like use them to paint? To lock in some colors and whatnot? Because that sounds really interesting too. Blowing my mind over here. Oh no, is my internet losing its mind again? Use them for portraits and other effects? Yeah, that's smart. I mean, I'll be honest, it's the best way to do rust effects is with chalk pastels. Oh, thank you for the follow, dude. Much appreciated. Welcome to the party. Sergeant. Sergeant is in the house. Half of this wet palette is brown. No, honestly, half this wet palette is flesh tones. But the other half is just like gray. Different shades of gray. So you have a YouTube channel. Would love to sub you and see more of your work. I do. It's the same exact name. So yeah, you can check out my stuff on there and all my past lives as well. I don't know if they last indefinitely though. I think they keep like the last like couple weeks of lives. But yeah, now I have a couple shorts on there. I have a long format of one of my giants. That's about an hour long, but kind of goes through my whole process. How I use my oil paints and whatnot. A couple other things. But yeah, I'll definitely check out your work as well, my dude. Thank you. I appreciate that. Alright, this guy is getting close to being based. Blocked in and ready to go. We're getting somewhere. We're getting some work done. Getting some work done today. I think I'm going to airbrush the rest of the pants that are left. I think I'll airbrush the rest of the pants and then just kind of clean those up, clean those lines up, and then that way we can get on with our lives, get on to the next portion here, get some oil paints on these guys, and start getting some serious work done. But yep, we're gonna get these finished base coated. Sweet. Sorry my stream is so patchy right now. Apologize, guys. Sweet, thank you so much. I will have to find your channel after this and sub to you as well, my guy. Much appreciated. I'm just a wee bitty channel on the YouTubings. We're just a whittle guy out there in the big ocean on YouTube. Sweet, I saw your message, Sergeant. Much appreciated, my dude. Welcome to the party, thrice over. Well, I'm a little on both here and YouTube. Yeah, I know. I'm little on here as well. Each day, if I can grow just a little bit, it's been a good day. You know? Really, I'm just on here trying to find cool people to talk to and hang out with, you know? That's really the goal. It's been the goal from the beginning, and it'll be the goal in the end. Now, if I can quit my job and do it full time, that'd be even better. But if this is the max, then I'm happy here. Because it's really fun to meet people and hear about the interesting, diverse things that they do. You know? How they spend their time on the hobby and the differences that they do. I just realized that his hair doesn't go all the way down there. Now it's going to look goofy. There's nothing wrong with being little either. Us little guys, we got to stick together, okay? Because even the big guys were little guys at one point. At one point, they were just little guys, too. We're distracting you? You definitely are. Like I said, like people are like, how long did that take you to paint? And I'm like, technically like 14 hours. But also technically, like really realistically like 8. Because I get distracted easily. And I make a little oopsie poopsie here and there. And then, and also just talking all the time, you know? Anyways, it is just about time I wrap up for the night, though. We've got a lot of headway done here. We'll add on the eyebrows, because for some reason, I have this problem that I never paint eyebrows. And I always forget. Every time I forget to paint the eyebrows, so we're going to do that real quick. And then we're going to call it a night. And tomorrow, we will try and get the rest of these all base coated and blocked in. Thank you so much for the follow, Billy. Welcome to the party, brother. Yep, tomorrow we're going to finish basing these, and then we will move on to doing some oil washes. So hopefully by the end of tomorrow night, we'll be doing oil washes. And that's like one of my favorite parts. And I really just I just slather on the oil. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no skill to it, and it's really fun. But yeah, oil washes and dry brushing, those are my 2 favorite things to do. So it'll be fun to get to my favorite stuff. and we'll do highlights after that. But yeah, thank you so much for hanging out. I sure do appreciate you guys spending some time with me tonight while I paint and relax and listen to some music and hang out and recharge. I have oils, but would like to watch how you apply it since I don't really use them because they take forever to dry. So I usually leave them on overnight is how I do it. You can do it earlier if you wait like 4 to 5 hours is probably the best time. But yeah, I'll show you how I do it. I just do them right before I go to bed basically, and then try and get to them as fast as possible. So anyways, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. If you'd like to support me more, check out my bio on my TikTok. It'll direct you to a pretty cool place where you can support me and soon to come painting classes and tutoring and commissions and Discord channel and all of that jazz. So y'all take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Love you, bye. Love you, bye. Love you, bye.